Hello! Tonight I'm going to be serving chili. And it's chili on a dime. It's chili outside here in Jersey today, and it's going to be chili in that crock pot in just a minute. As always, I do make substitutes because we do have food allergies. I will let you know along the way what I'm substituting it for. Not much. Basically, I'm using chicken, ground chicken instead of ground beef. But let's go heat up the pots. Let's get it going. All right, I'm getting these pots heated up. Hands are washed. Got my towel over here, over my shoulder. Started heating up my pan. Okay, so I'm gonna start the chili in the pan, and you can absolutely cook the whole thing in here, but I'm making this earlier in the day. I want it to simmer in the crock pot so it releases a lot of the flavors. You don't have to do that. You don't even have to saute these. I would prefer that you did, but you don't have to. I've seen people do it that way. All right, so a little bit of EVOO in the pan. We're gonna only saute these until they're tender. We don't want them all the way cooked. Just like the green pepper will be softened, not completely cooked down. I'm going to try and cook the green, and this is one, I'm sorry. Yikes. Oh, that's going to have to stay under there. I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit. 1 bell pepper, 1 medium-ish onion. We're going to start with the bell pepper because it has a longer cooking time than the onion. So we're going to get that to start releasing some aromas, I guess. So now I'll keep these in here and start doing these. You don't need to watch me soften these, but I'll turn it back on when I get to the onions. And now I'm going to add the onions because these will still cook a little bit more when the onions go in. Again, that's 1 green pepper, 1 onion. And now we're gonna cook the onion until it's translucent. Just saw a giant onion in there. Yeah, the onions are going to cook down as they sit in the crock pot over the rest of the next probably 2.5 hours before the kids get here. So, oh, I still need this. Thought I was done with it, but I'm not. Now, I'm going to use about, I just broke my thing off. Or, oh no, it must have already been broken. I didn't know. I'm going to use about a tablespoon-ish of garlic. You can use garlic powder. I wouldn't use garlic salt for the obvious reasons, but can't get it to come out. I'm afraid if I squeeze any harder, it's going to be a lot. So right there. About a tablespoon. And I have to tell you, everything I'm doing here is really chili has to be to taste. It has to be. There's, like in my house, nobody even here likes exactly the same thing. So these are one of those things where you just need to trust your own cooking skills. Those onions are almost done already. And I'm going to put the garlic in, but you don't want to, got to be real careful with that garlic, because if it burns, there's no saving it. You just have to discard it and start over again. You can, like I said, you can use the garlic powder if you're not, comfortable cooking with actual garlic. This isn't even like, well, it is actual garlic, but it's already minced up for me. It's not the whole clove, So here we go. These are nice and softened. Nice and softened. The onions are like clearish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to smash the garlic. This is just something I used to do when I cook with actual garlic, like when I use the cloves. But for me, somehow it kind of like wakes it up. Just a little bit. And this knife is really sharp. I don't want to cut myself, but I've been cutting myself a lot lately. Cut my own mouth, being stupid. I was talking and I was eating, with a fork and knife, and I went to go lick my fork clean, and I put my knife in my mouth and cut the corner of my mouth. It was not pretty. It scared the heck out of me. I thought I was going to lose my whole tongue and everything else. All right, so there we go. We just want it to get a little bit fragrant. And if this isn't enough garlic, I can always add more afterwards, or I can use the garlic powder. But there we go. So that's that. What I'm going to do now, before I put this in the crock pot, is I'm going to add the seasonings, because I like to toast my seasonings. Now, the recipe calls for double what I'm putting in here, but I am cooking with chicken, and it just, it can't defend itself like beef can. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I have a bunch in here. The thyme leaf I'm just going to put in there. I mean the bay leaf. But in here, I have a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons oregano, half a teaspoon of basil, a 1/4 teaspoon cayenne pepper. That's it. So I'm going to throw that in here. For me, I feel like it. Wait, I'm gonna put the bay leaf though. I'm gonna put that in the pot. I'm not gonna brown that up. See, I can already the scent. Now it is sticking to the pan a little bit, but that's okay, because I'm gonna put meat in here and things like that, and I can always get it off the pan with some of the, the tomato sauce. Not sauce, crushed tomatoes. And that's that. They're just about, all you need is about a minute. I'm going to push these over here so they can pick up whatever's in there. All right, I'm going to get my crock pot, because I'm going to put these in the crock pot. Hold on a moment. Just want to make sure I rinse this out real quick. I mean, it's clean, but still want to rinse it out. Okay, so I'm going to pour all of that's off in here, because we're going to get to browning up the meat. I'm not a fan of throwing the raw meat in here. I have seen people do it, and yuck. No, thank you. All that grease and stuff, no, thank you. Now, if I was just using this pot, I would have just added the meat, just there. But like I said, I want this to simmer throughout the day. Now I got a pound of ground chicken. Oh, don't have much room here to go. Oh. And the bay leaf. Boop. Ouch. Turn that back on. chicken in. Now we're going to brown that up. And you don't want to chop it, like make it real. A lot of times I'll use 1.5 pounds, but this is what I have today. So I'm going to brown it up just like that. And then we'll go on to the next step. Alrighty. All right. Truth time here. I found in my freezer a pack of the remnants of what was 1 pound of ground chicken. It was like maybe, I don't even want to say it was a 1/4 pound. It might have been an 1/8 because I was making taco, and I wanted just a little bit more than what I had, but I didn't want all of it, so I threw it in the freezer. So I got about 1 pound and an 1/8, and only because, not that the pound wouldn't make it, is that Eric loves the leftovers and he likes to take it to school. And if I make just enough for dinner tonight, there's no leftovers for him or whatever. Now I don't want you to cook this until it's crumbly. We want chunks in there, like big pieces. Well, maybe not big pieces, but. And now we're going to start. We're done with the frying pan. We're going to add this right in there. Now at this point, if you're cooking on the stove, this is when you're going to start dumping your other ingredients in the pan. Well, I would drain this first. Don't leave the grease in there. But we're making a big pot now. So let me get this in here, and then we'll get to going. Okay. Now I could have done everything in the frying pan over here and then transferred it in, but I did that one time and I burned myself. So I don't want to do that again. But you need a large can of crushed tomatoes. I lost my lid. I thought this was crushed tomatoes, but it was whole roasted tomatoes. And I already opened it. So I just zip, zip, zip in the blender a little bit for just a minute. Not drained. You want all the juices. Okay, and these were the roasted ones too. They're going to be good. I'm glad I got them. You know, made the mistake, but hey. Ugh, all over my hands. Okay, give that a good mix. Now, this still needs more juice. This is not enough juice in here, but we have to add other things, and I wait until later before I add any more juice. Okay, so that's all mixed in. That's your big can. You're going to want a can of 1 to 2 cans, depending on your preference. A lot of times I'll heat some up on the side because some like more beans than others. Now this one here, I'm telling you, resist the urge to drain it. I know. I can hear everybody screaming right now. Yuck! But I'm telling you, that's the starches and everything that are in there, and it helps thicken up your chili. So I leave it in. So do as you will. Boom. That's that. I'm going to add some diced tomatoes. I usually add those just regular old diced. I try to buy things that serve double duty. Like this one has, it's petite diced tomatoes. This is Walmart brand with garlic and olive oil. I also have Rotel. Can you see that? I'm sorry, was that too high up? I also have Rotel. So you can use either or. Either the Rotel or these. Okay? So let's get there. Now I have a couple steps. Oh, I see a chunk of tomato in there. Ooh, this is looking good. Look at all the green peppers in there. Oh. And I already have this thing set on high right now. I'm just going to do that while I'm mixing everything, and then I'll turn it down to low. Try and decide which one I want. This one or this one. I'm going to go with this one. It's a bigger can, has more juice. and I want more juice in mine. Now remember, we added a lot of flavors. I implore you to taste as you go, because I may come back later and add a little bit of chili powder, or I may add a little bit more cumin or thyme or something like that. This is just the base to get me started, and then I add more, can't add less, right, as I go. And make sure I want to add, because there is juice in here. You know what I'm going to do? Just so I can see what I'm putting in here, because I don't want to go blind. Just draining off some of the juice into another can right now, because as I'm adding, I could see that the juice level is getting higher and higher. Now, I have done this, let me tell you, where I've thought I had enough juice in there and I strained it off, but I keep the can, because at the very end, even if it was enough juice, at the very end when there's leftovers, it kind of like soaks up the juice. And when you go to heat it up the next day is always the best, but sometimes there's not enough liquid in it. So I save it, and either I'll add it when I put it in the refrigerator, or I just put it in a bowl, put it in the refrigerator, and when it's time to do the leftovers, I just warm it up and add it to the thing. So there you have it. Okay. So now you got all the seasonings in here. You're going to let this simmer. Come throughout the day. If you're doing it like I do, take a little taste. See if it needs more juice. See if it needs more of that. Now, here's something you're probably going to think is disgusting, but it is something that my kids like it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to put a squirt of mustard in here and a squirt of ketchup. These are optional. This is something that my kids like. Boom, right there. That's a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a bit, but it is that. And then just no name brand. I don't know why that light is so bright up there. Ketchup. I always shake my ketchup. I hate getting that water blast in the front. You know what I'm talking about. Go put it on something, all water comes out. Now, there's a lot of tomato in here. Why do you ask that I put this in here? I don't know. I just do. Something I've done, and it's not a lot. So you could take it or leave it, but I'm taking it. So now we're just going to let this simmer throughout the day. I have the juices from over here. I put it in the bean can. I can tell you right now, by looking at this, it doesn't have enough beans for Eric, but for others it will. So I'm going to let this simmer, and I'll be back when it's time. If I add anything to it after I taste it, it's still cold right now, and meat isn't cooked all the way through, so I really don't want to taste it right now. I don't feel like, you know, upchucking later, I guess is the word, or worse, the other end. Enough of that. TMI, I lost my lid. Yep. Some may have said I've lost my lid a long time ago, but boom. I got this sitting on a pan so it's nice and level. I'm going to move it over here, clear off my counters. Now, I didn't know my entire life that, where am I? Can't see you. Boom. Wait, hold on. I got a chair right here. I'll sit down. Hello. Oh, I feel like I look like doo-doo. I didn't know that everybody doesn't eat chili over rice. I'm an old lady, and I just found out that not everybody eats chili over rice. Who knew? Probably everybody except me, because that's what I grew up. When we ate chili. I was the youngest of 8 kids, and all of us always had a friend at the table. So Mom stretched, but yeah, did not know that. So I'm going to get that to cook. I'm just going to make regular rice. It's nothing special. I'm not making jasmine rice or anything like that. Just making plain old white rice like it tells you to do on the package. So you really don't need to see that. But I'm glad you came with me today along for this ride, making my quick pot of chili and letting it sit. But we'll be back and we'll talk some more in a little bit. Okay, there you have it. There's my chili. Now, in all honesty, I came back in and I tasted it. I added a little bit more chili powder. I added a little bit more of the yellow mustard, not the spicy mustard, because that's basically to taste. So I hope you give it a try. I know you'll like it. And now let's get to the taste test. All right, there's Aiden's little plate. We put it on a plate just so you could see it. Typically, we eat it out of a bowl, but I just wanted you to see it. And Aiden, baby, is going to be doing the taste test because Eric is doing something else. But look how yummy that is. Look at all the veggies in there. All right, let's get to the taste test. Okay, Aiden, baby, you're going to do the taste test. All right, let's get to tasting. Oops. Yep.
I have to get some dirty.
Yeah, got a lot of rice on there.
Yep.
Okay, want to get some of the chili on there? Just the chili, try the chili. I know you're trying to get it all, but careful, careful. So what you think?
Good.
You like it? All righty. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You can dig the rest in. Okay, there you have it. They absolutely loved it. We had to add a little bit more seasoning because it wasn't quite spicy enough for them. But, you know, that's to each his own. But we add a little bit more spice to it. And they loved it. And there's leftovers for tomorrow or for lunches. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. And most of all, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Bye-bye.